So I've got a question for you right off the bat. How well do you really know the rules? Because it's so easy for even the most well-meaning leaders to operate on old assumptions that are just plain wrong.
B.I.G. Charity Law Group.
All right, let's dive in. If you're a leader in the charitable sector, you know that Canadian charity law can feel like a minefield. Today we're going to tackle 4 of the most dangerous myths out there, the kind of misunderstandings that could really put your organization at risk.
We are going to separate fact from fiction. We're busting 4 of the biggest, most dangerous myths that charity lawyers see time and time again. And believe me, these aren't small mistakes. They're the kind that can jeopardize your mission, your reputation, and even your charitable status.
First up, we've got a classic. I call it the borrowed number shortcut. It's a myth that's almost always born from good intentions and a bit of impatience. But wow, is it one of the riskiest moves you can make. So here's the scenario, right? Your new organization is off to a great start. You're doing amazing work, but you're stuck in that limbo period waiting for your application with the Canada Revenue Agency, the CRA, to be approved. So the question comes up. Can we just borrow the registration number from a friendly, established charity so we can issue tax receipts?
The answer from the CRA could not be more clear. It is a hard, unequivocal no. Their official line is, under no circumstance should a registered charity lend its registration number. There's no gray area here, folks. It's a black and white rule designed to protect the integrity of the whole system. And for the charity that's thinking of lending its number, the risks are just massive. You become legally on the hook for every single receipt issued under your name. You have to account for money you never even saw. This can lead to huge penalties. And in a worst-case scenario, you could actually lose your own charitable status. It is not a shortcut, it's a dead end.
Okay, let's switch gears to myth number 2. This one is all about a topic that has changed a ton in recent years: how much a charity can get involved in political activities. Honestly, there is so much confusion about what's allowed.
The rulebook on this has been totally rewritten. Before late 2018, charities were in this kind of legal straitjacket. There was this strict rule that said you could only spend 10% of your resources on political activities. But guess what? As of today, that 10% limit is completely gone. The whole focus has shifted from counting pennies to looking at your purpose. You can see the shift right here. The old rule was all about resource allocation, how much you spent. The new rule is about your purpose and making sure you stay nonpartisan. The government doesn't care so much about how much you're spending anymore. They care about why you're speaking up. It's a huge change that lets charities be much more active advocates, as long as you play by the new rules. So what are those rules? Well, it really boils down to 3 simple tests. 1, your activity has to be strictly nonpartisan. You can't support or oppose a specific party or candidate. 2, it has to be directly connected to your charity's purpose. And 3, it has to provide a public benefit. If you can check those 3 boxes, you're on solid ground.
All right, on to myth number 3. Now this is a big one, and it honestly surprises a lot of people. It's the belief that every single director on the board of a Canadian charity has to be a Canadian resident. The truth? That's just not the case. The legal residency requirement applies to the charity as an organization, not to the individual people on its board. It's a really critical distinction, and understanding it can open up a whole world of possibilities, especially if your work has an international reach. Now, it does get a little specific depending on how you're set up. If you're a corporation incorporated in Canada, you're golden. You're considered a resident, end of story, no matter where your directors live. If you're a trust, it's a bit different. A majority of the trustees do have to reside in Canada. And for an unincorporated association, it all comes down to where the central management and control really happens. But, and this is a really important but, even if you have directors living abroad, you always have to be able to prove that the charity's direction and control comes from within Canada. The CRA has to see that the real decisions, the real oversight is happening here at home. And finally, our 4th myth. Is there a no fun allowed rule for charities? Can you host a social event, a party, a get-together, or is that completely off limits?
Well, the short answer is yes. You absolutely can host social events. But, you guessed it, there are some important limits. Social activities aren't strictly charitable in the eyes of the law, so the CRA has a general guideline. You probably shouldn't be spending more than 10% of your total resources, that's money, staff time, everything, on social stuff.
At the end of the day, any social event you throw has to fall into one of 2 buckets. It can be a fundraising event, where the whole point is to raise money for your cause. Or it can be what's called an incidental activity that supports your main work. Think a volunteer appreciation dinner. The key is that the fun has to have a purpose.
So there you have it, 4 major myths busted. The big takeaway here is that staying compliant isn't a one-and-done task. It's an ongoing commitment to keeping your organization safe and sound.
And that need for diligence is very real. To put it in perspective, the CRA looks at roughly 20 different areas of compliance. It's not just about receipts or political advocacy. It's fundraising, governance, your annual filings, the whole shebang.
You know, it's so important to reframe how we think about these rules. Compliance isn't about putting you in a box. It's the armor that protects your mission, your reputation, and your charitable status. It's what ensures you can keep doing your incredible work for years to come.
And that brings us to one last critical question to take back to your team. The laws have changed, the world has changed. So take a hard look at your own policies and your own bylaws. Is your charity's rulebook still fit for purpose? If you're not 100% sure, remember, getting expert advice isn't a cost, it's an investment in your mission's future.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more tips. Ready to take the next step on your nonprofit or charity journey? Book a free consultation today at charitylawgroup.ca.